Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar with your group coach, Craig Goodliff. Today, we'll be presenting virtual leverage. Just so you know, everyone will receive a recording of this webinar after the session has finished, excuse me. If you have any questions for your coach, please type them into the question box located in your webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have any questions about today's call or coaching program, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's fasttrack@kw.com. All right, that's all for me, Craig. Go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Jasmine. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Leverage. I'm Coach Craig Goodliff, and with me today is my cyberbacker all the way from the Philippines, Raquel Mingoy.
Hi, everyone.
So really quick, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and what I do. I run a team here in Utah, the Good Life Group, and our entire admin team is virtual. In 2017, we sold 203 homes with 9 virtual assistants and 7 agents on the team. I'm a MAPS coach, and I coach 40 of the top teams all over North America, and many of them are using virtual assistants. Raquel, tell everyone about you.
Craig, well, guys, I am Craig Cyberbacker, and I handle everything from his calendar, scheduling, managing to-do list, listening to calls, taking notes, sending reports, tracking numbers, creating call lists, organizing follow-up items, and everything else in Craig's 80%, including getting him back on track when he is off track.
Absolutely. So today we're going to share with you a couple different things, because one of the things when people say, I want to grow my business and I'm considering hiring a virtual assistant to do that, we actually went through a couple different ways you can do that. Now, there's probably, if we looked at it, hundreds of ways, and every business is different and based on different ways you choose to grow your business. Here's 10 we came up with that you could implement relatively quickly and that we're actually using in our business. So you can take away, we know they work when we do it. So let's go ahead and look. We're going to give you the 10 secrets that you can use to close more deals, primarily from your database. So just so you know, real quick, Raquel's nickname is Kelly.
Don't tell them that, Craig. Well, you look on Kelly, guys. Craig has 150,000 people in Kelly, and he didn't put them in there. Just to let you know, Hannah, our lead backer, did. And one of the biggest problems agents have with being able to use any contact-based tool is putting people in there, right? So hiring a great cyberbacker or virtual assistant to it is a great way to leverage the tech of tomorrow. So, and let's face it, guys, you don't need one more thing to do. So, let a cyberbacker or virtual assistant do that for you.
Yeah, just so everyone's clear, the 150,000 people we added, that was our database. Past
That's
clients, both sides of the transactions. We'll tell you a lot more about that, because I know a lot of people are going, a database of 150,000, how do you even work a database that big? So a lot of virtual talent. That's the big secret behind it, a lot of virtual talent. So next is your touch plan.
Yes. Well, we are seeing touch plans get bigger and bigger. So the thing is, most templated plans that you have sending out is the same marketing as your competition. Right,
Yes,
Craig?
that's right. Yes. So using email, text, direct mail, calls, social media, there's a lot of ways to touch a database. They all revolve around having a great plan, and you can work with a virtual assistant to find a great marketing plan and help you implement that into your business. We talk to a lot of people, and some of them, believe it or not, have a background marketing other businesses through social media, through direct mail, stuff like that. And there's a lot of different ways that we could get into it. I could turn this into a 3-hour webinar on just going ahead and implementing and having people do that. Well, when we hired Hannah, this is who does it for us. She's our lead manager, lead backer. And I didn't want to go out there and start. I mean, I'll just tell you, when we hired her, we were using templated campaigns from eEdge. I know a lot of you guys are, nothing wrong with that. It's better than nothing, which, we're being honest, that's what most people send out. When we hired her, I wanted someone who understood what's going to get client engagement. Client engagement's huge. Now, I know a lot of us, like Raquel said, we don't need one more thing to do. So having someone and finding someone with that background is huge. Now, in the group course, we go through a lot of how to find someone who has a background, so you're not hiring someone brand new and trying to teach them. In fact, it's faster to go ahead and hire someone so good they're teaching you how to do it, right, Raquel?
That's correct.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go on. We've got more cool secrets here. Now, a lot of you, I don't know if you know, I don't know about you guys, but I text more. I text kind of like a teenage girl, if we're being honest, and I do more text than any other form of communication.
Yeah, well, a great virtual assistant can spend a simple text, can send a simple text from your phone, that says, "When do you have a minute for a quick call?" I do that, right, Craig?
Yeah, I'm worried when you do that, because if you text someone and say, "Hey, do you got a minute for a quick call?" they say yes, and then I have to call them. In fact, Raquel's kind of taking the option out of me doing my job or not, right, Raquel?
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people are wondering how do they do that, Craig?
We'll share a couple cool secrets with that. Tech's different, and we could spend all day going in a tech trap. But guys, just so you know, you never know who is on the other end of your phone sending text messages. Some of you guys, and I'm going to apologize if you're on the webinar today, you've received text messages from my 2-year-old son, because he gets a hold of my phone and he just, pound, 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 money sign, smiley face, winky face, and he just like sends it to my mom, which is hilarious. But you don't know who's on the other side of a text message. You don't even know where they're at, because I was in the Philippines. Raquel and me, we were having a couple events and things a couple of weeks ago, and I was actually texting from the Philippines, and no one had any clue of that. So they can send a reply to text. In fact, they can be the complete cyber version of you. Right, Raquel?
That's right.
I mean, it's kind of like a identity theft at its highest level. So, but that's a great thing that we do, and it's a great thing. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Okay. So, does anyone ever use a system to send voicemails to people?
No.
No?
Never?
No. Well, I'm just going to say this, and you can use your imagination for now.
Well, Craig, do you want me to send a voicemail to everyone who emails us?
That's a great idea. We're going to share my email address later, and we're going to show how Raquel can actually send you a voicemail. So, guys, I love the questions coming in. We saved some time at the end for Q&A. Keep having them come in. So keep typing, and we will get through all the questions. And by the way, we saved a lot of time for Q&A today, because believe it or not, I can't ramble that much. So, guys, we're going to answer all the questions. So let's go ahead and let's jump on to the next one.
Yep. So the next one is answer your phone or get a client concierge service. So when you have a business that sells homes, sometimes people need other things for that home, right? And they call you as the agent.
Yes, they do. When someone calls us, one of our concierge answers the phone. If they need a plumber, our virtual assistant lines them up with a plumber. They need someone to wash their windows or pest control or clean the house. We make sure that they get whatever they want through that concierge.
Yeah, and most of the time, when you call a business, you expect someone to answer the phone, right? So why not have a virtual assistant do it for you?
I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but you look at where the call center jobs are per population and percentage, and they're actually in the Philippines. I mean, you go ahead, and a lot of times you call someone. I mean, who on here has not called someone and got someone from the Philippines? Raquel, we were wandering around this area with all these calls. What was the name of that area we went wandering around? We got in trouble for passing out flyers.
Oh, Alabang. Yeah.
Alabang. Okay. Call centers everywhere, guys. There's like these big, tall buildings, and you've got just everyone you can think of. And we were out pretty late. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Not just Raquel and me. We had the entire Cyberbacker team there. We were doing a event at the mall, and I'm just amazed because I'm seeing these huge call center buildings. It's late at night, and people are out there in the street going to work in the call center. So hiring a concierge service, by the way, some people are saying, well, don't they have an accent, and do they speak English? Well, yes, they do. I mean, Raquel obviously speaks English. We've got people who answer my phone. In fact, one of my good friends, because I've been having someone else answer my phone for several years now, he called and says, wow, you're hiring Americans to answer your phone now. I says, no, I've just found people with better accents. So that was a joke. A lot of people will get that tomorrow, but that's one of the cool things you can, well, it is. I mean, people don't think that big. They don't think of having someone else answer their phone. I'm sorry, but you're a business owner. So anyway, keep the questions coming, guys. We're going to get into that. So let's go to the next one here. Is anyone using Kelly Snaps? By the way, and is anyone not seeing every other Keller Williams agent who's using Kelly Snaps saying, put your zip code in here and I'll give you your market stats? So it's where you type this, for those of you wondering, what the heck is he talking about? Number one, make sure you've downloaded Kelly because it's pretty freaking cool. You download Kelly, you type SNAP, S-N-A-P, and then the zip code, and it's going to give you statistics. Now, there's a little square with an arrow pointing out of it that you can send those statistics to anyone, and they can keep coming back to it, and it's real time. So it's more accurate, more update than anything else. I would love to tell you I went ahead and went through Kelly Snap and sent to everyone, hey, in case you wanted to know the stats on your area, and I know there's a lot better scripts than that. I'd love to tell you I went through and did that. I didn't. However, we have great virtual assistants that can and have been. So, and here's a great script. Hey, name, I was wondering, or I was looking at your area, and have you seen what's going on with your market? I thought it was interesting. Have you considered selling? So, and by the way, that conversation can happen through a text message, kind of like we talked about a few pages ago. You can have a great virtual assistant managing that conversation through text to someone in your database and using Kelly Snaps to go ahead and get them real-time data about selling their home. So, okay, let's go ahead and jump on to the next one.
Yep. So next one is add Facebook friends to the database. So believe it or not, guys, more real estate agents have a Facebook account than have a database. So, you know, you can have a virtual assistant make sure each Facebook friend is in your database. And how do you get their info? You know, you just ask them or have your virtual assistant do it for you.
Absolutely. Guys, I love when I go ahead and reconnect with old high school friends back on Facebook. I know everyone else does too. The people from your past you tried to forget coming back to haunt you. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but no, sometimes they want to go ahead and they, believe it or not, might live in a home or know someone who does. However, if the only marketing you have in exchange with them is through Facebook, there's a very low probability you're going to get that. Now, we know the average user has 338 Facebook friends. I mean, if you're in real estate, chances are you're a lot more social than the average person. However, taking the time to go every single one of them, one at a time, find their birthday, find out who they're married to, find out where they live, what's their phone number, what's their email address, that can be very, very daunting. In fact, that's a full-time job. We hired someone to do that. By the way, how do you screen someone to make sure they can do that? Have them cyber stalk you. Like, seriously, that's what we did. We share with you more in the group course on how to do that. We've got a great, I don't want to call her a cyber stalker. However, if Alana wants to find information on anyone, she can, if we're being honest. So, but just simply going through your Facebook and making sure all those people in your database, their birthdays line up and everything, so you can be appropriate in the moment. So, you guys all have great questions. I love these. We're going to get into all of your questions today, so keep them coming, I promise. Now, everyone get on Google real quick.
Hold on. Yeah, let's do that later, Craig.
Yeah, that's right. If we lose them to Google, we won't get them back, will we?
Yeah.
People get lost several hours on Google. So, guys, get on Google later and search how to send a handwritten note online. You'll see there are a ton of ways that you can actually send a handwritten note from your computer. If you're like me and you're like, I can go ahead and when I focus have good penmanship, you know. However, some of the younger people, we didn't study calligraphy or even cursive writing. We went through typing classes instead. And that's the way a lot of people are. However, I'm weird. I save a lot of handwritten notes. In fact, Diana wrote me a handwritten note a couple weeks ago from Mega Camp, and she's handwritten me a couple, and I just really wish I had that ability. And I've written her a couple handwritten notes, even though I'm sure she can't read them because when you're in a hurry, your handwriting gets sloppy and you didn't study it in school. Anyway, but you can do it online when you have that really nice focused penmanship. So, and you can send notes online. They look handwritten. They can even be in your handwriting. Now, if I can do it online, this is the thing that we learned. I can have a virtual assistant do that. My identity thief. So if Raquel wanted to right now, she could go ahead and send anyone a handwritten note. She could do it online. And I could say anything we wanted to, and no one would know it didn't come from me. That's the interesting thing. And yes, it says you can have it say postage is in the US. You can have it printed and everything happen from the US. It's pretty incredible. And there's actually quite a few different things you can do. I was talking to a gentleman a couple mega camps ago, and he was trying to speed up his handwritten note ability, and he actually bought a machine to do it. Spent a ton of money on it. I thought, wow, that's really, really cool. And then a couple of years later, here it is. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's actually, yeah, the little touches that make a big difference, Greg.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. So okay, believe it or not, a lot of event coordinating is just a lot of calling, scheduling, ordering, and a few simple conversations.
Craig, do you want me to throw you a party?
What kind of a party?
Well, a surprise party.
A surprise? I'm gonna pass on the surprise party. Maybe Kevin. Let's throw Kevin a surprise party in his office. Can you do that? I'm just,
Yeah.
let's do one for one of our next clients. I'm just kidding. But no, they can actually coordinate events. We had, I mentioned we went ahead and we did an event in a mall in the Philippines, and it was cool. And everyone else set it up. I felt lazy because I just had to show up and present, but everything was done. And I know that's, well, it's easy. It's in their backyard in the Philippines. However, a lot of the calls and stuff like that, if you're going to rent out a movie theater, someone else can do that. If you're going to have pie day, someone can call and order the pies. A lot of the coordination can be done. A lot of the behind the scenes work can be done through a virtual assistant. So I don't know, is anyone else using Pi Days? Because Thanksgiving's coming up and I didn't get an invite. There's 97 of you and none of you invited me to be your Pi Day. Unbelievable. The friendship is over. I'm just kidding. So let's go to the next one. So not just the government's the only one listening in. Why not have a cyberbacker listen in?
Well, that way they can take notes and make sure everything gets done.
Absolutely, guys. Raquel's my promise keeper. I mean, I make sure that things get done because I've got an accountability partner. And before I leave every single day, I'm like, okay, what else do I have to do? And Raquel's like, here's your job. And she makes sure that, well, she takes the option out of me doing my job. In fact, if I just said I don't want to, she can dial the phone for me. We have that ability. I just pop the headset on. She can dial the phone, make sure that I'm making my calls, take notes. In fact, if I were prospecting for a listing, hypothetically, Raquel could go ahead, listen in, put notes into the CRM, prepare seller paperwork. We have our virtual assistants help us prepare paperwork in states where you do not need a license. And yes, a lot of them are trained on .loop. So they can do that for you. So everything just happens and it's a systematic process. It's a really cool thing. And it all starts with you just simply making a phone call.
Yep. And also, I make sure that Craig doesn't leave until it's done. So I bug him every day.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So we're going to get into some Q&A. I know a lot of people are hearing us refer to the group coaching, and I love a lot of this. So we have 21 slots available today only. We start next week. It's 8 hours with me. It's $198. When you sign up today, you get the 7 recruiting sources, and that's where you register. We're going to do some Q&A while we go ahead and go through this. Some of you guys are saying, I want full in. And let's go ahead and go for this. So Jim, I love that Jim was looking forward to information on virtual leverage, Jim. And we're going to go ahead. I want you to put more good questions in here because I see you got another one. Brendan asked, what's the best way to directly find a great virtual assistant? We teach you the exact process. Guys, just so we're clear, we've mentioned Cyberbacker a couple times. And let me just tell you what that is. When you go through hiring a virtual assistant, the full process, it's exactly what we teach you. We've been teaching this course since, gosh, it's been a couple of years now, Raquel. We've been teaching it. It's the exact process we follow. When people get into this and they see the work that's involved, I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of people are not willing to do the work that it takes, okay? One of those things, sounds simple, not necessarily simple for everybody, is writing a job description, you know? And so what happened was, we started having people say, I want a virtual assistant, but I want it now. I don't want to go through 8 weeks of training, an hour with you every week. So we created Cyberbacker that just kind of did that. And it started out for the coaches. And if you're like, okay, I want a virtual assistant, I want one today, we do that. That's what Cyberbacker is. It is an outsourcing company. However, virtual leverage, we show you how to hire direct. We show you exactly what Cyberbacker does to find talent. So that's, I mean, you're getting firsthand. I mean, if you see the advertisements and things we do, guys, we advertise, we're going to show you how to hire a virtual assistant for $2 an hour, and we are. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. Because one of the big things Raquel and me have in common is we're job creators. So what's the best way? There's a lot of great ways. If I tell you I'm going to tell you right now, Brendan, I'm going to tell you our best way. And this is true for anything you want, whether you want more leads, more listings, or more leverage. It's always going to start off with building a database. Always going to start off with building a database. I'll tell you guys this, our first 2 hires, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I wrote 2 job descriptions. Well, I wrote 1. And this was Mega Camp 2000 and, gosh, was it 2012, 2011? I don't know. I've been at Keller Williams a very long time. Gary brought someone up on stage that was posting Craigslist ads to generate leads and had made like $800,000 gross in a year just from that source. And I thought that was amazing. I do not have extra time in my life to hire someone to do Craigslist ads. So believe it or not, my first virtual assistant came from Craigslist. Seriously, you guys can all go there right now. I'm giving you this actual secret. You can go on Philippines you can go to Craigslist in the Philippines. You can just search resumes, and there are virtual assistants right now that want to go to work for you. Now, we know, because I've probably contacted all of them already, but you're going to go through several virtual assistants to find one amazing one. So, because believe it or not, there's a lot of times that you go ahead and you hire someone and they don't show up the second day, and things like that happen. So, that's one of the sources. That's what we started with. And then you're always contacting them, building a database. Some of the great virtual talent we work with now, we weren't their first choice, and I'll say in all honesty, because I was a little bit slow getting back to them, or I didn't know them, or I wasn't looking for everything right on a resume. But we go through typically right now 157 people to hire one person. Then after you find that one person, you got to know what you're looking for. You don't want to hire bad talent, because that'll just eat up time and cause more problems than it solves. We go ahead and we find that one person, we put them through a 30, 60, 90. And then after that, you have the systems and everything that make everything run. And that's kind of what we talk about in virtual leverage, but that's one of the fastest ways to do it. So then Jeff, what's the best way to find a great virtual assistant? So I'm going to go ahead and Tracy, I skipped yours. Raquel is with me, not with a company. We created Cyberbacker. Raquel helped me build it, right, Raquel?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Right.
the company. But we started the company just to take care of a need, because people were saying, hey, I went through the training and it's been challenging. So anyway, that's technically who Raquel's works with is Cyberbacker. So anyway, let me scroll up real quick, because you guys keep the questions coming. We're going to get through them today. So Jeff, what's the best way to find a great virtual assistant? I'm going to say the best thing to start with is know exactly what you're hiring for. There's sometimes we go through the virtual leverage and people go ahead and they say, okay, I want someone who's going to do these 5 things. We'll just say they want a transaction coordinator, and that's what they come to virtual leverage for. And we teach you how to hire them. And then they go ahead and they put the resume out there and they hire someone who has no transaction coordinating experience, no system, no skill, but they're really good on Instagram. And then they go ahead and say, I've hired a virtual assistant to do my Instagram. And I'm going, what happened to the transaction coordinator you originally after? So if you want to hire someone great, number one, we like to hire based on experience. And there's a few other things in that criteria that make someone great, personality assessments, things like that, different things you look for on resumes. But to hire someone great, be clear on your expectations and know exactly what you're looking for, just like an in-office person. It's no different. So great question, Jeff. At what point do you recommend hiring a virtual assistant? Jim, that's a great question. I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as you can, really. But really, it's consulting who makes most of your decisions. It's your budget. I mean, the reason I don't drive a Ferrari right now is because my budget tells me I shouldn't. So, but I would consult the budget first. And we go through in virtual leverage how to make sure you can afford that hire and you're not stretching yourself too thin to do that. So I would absolutely do that. So Angelica, what database is your team using? So we use Kelly right now in Command. So that's what we're doing right now to do that. Where do we find virtual assistants? Most of our virtual assistants, Angelica, a couple different websites. We wanted to have a great hiring site, and I'll just tell you guys, it's still in beta, but we have a pretty big database, so we created Virtual Backer. It's not ready yet, still we're working on it, but most of our virtual assistants come through a database we're using, and we show you how to do that. So that's where we find a lot of them. That's where we find our virtual assistants. So other than that, there's the 7 sources. When you sign up, we send you that. And we actually go through each of it in detail. So Brandon, that's what you found when you did that. Yep. So you're going through a lot. Can you get a good ISA from the Philippines? I'm looking for someone that can dial out. Brian, this is a great question. Can you get a good ISA in the Philippines? Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. I'm looking for someone that can dial into neighborhoods and find seller leads. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So a couple different things with that. With this round of virtual leverage, we actually have been working with Mika Fox very closely because she is part of the Nicaragua Market Center. And we actually, through virtual backer and cyber backer and everything we did, we've been engaging a lot with people in Nicaragua. Believe it or not, you can get great virtual assistants in Nicaragua. So you can do it from the Philippines, you can do it from Nicaragua. We're going to show you how to hire to both. The biggest thing is, remember, when you're hiring an ISA and you're doing it virtually, you're looking for someone who can handle being on the phones in the middle of the night, calling people in a foreign country. Okay. Now, can it be done? Absolutely. Have people done it? Absolutely. Are we going to teach you how in our group course? Absolutely. It's not something you can go out there and find the first person they're going to do it. I mean, I'll tell you, we talk about 1 in 157, 158 to find a great virtual assistant. To find a great ISA, you might have 300 applicants. So it's yes, you can, and you're going to be going through a lot of applicants. Nothing wrong with it. By the way, Hannah, we mentioned earlier, our lead manager, before we hired her, she worked with a different team. They went ahead and her expectation was to set 3 to 5 expired listing appointments per day. That was it. So, and she's highly, highly talented and very, very skilled. So yes, you can, and we do that. So, okay, for tax purposes, is what you pay the VA's payroll. So Crystal, great question. So when we talk about payroll and stuff like that, you've got to look at, are you hiring an independent contractor or are you actually hiring an employee? We discussed this in virtual leverage in more detail, but it's knowing exactly who you're hiring. One of the things I will tell you right now, before you go ahead and start hiring from another country, I know because I've experienced this, you want to know exactly how your employee and employer classification or your independent contractor relationship, and you're going to want to have a great conversation with a CPA. Now, I'm not the IRS and I don't handle your books. Crystal, if you want to send them over, I'll look at them, but I can't advise you. I'm just kidding. But you're going to want to know exactly what you're getting into. The first couple CPAs I talked to when I originally said, hey, I want to do this, and we've been hiring out for, how many years is it? Well, our first virtual assistant was not in the office, but they were a local person. It was a mom, and we just didn't have space in the office. I'll tell you, we started hiring from the Philippines much later. In fact, we're on a little over 9 years now. So, but anyway, going to the different CPAs, they said, well, you can't do this. And I had a few that say, you absolutely can't, you absolutely can't. And then I had one that says, yes, you can, and here's what you do. So you might talk to yours. We've had people in virtual leverage. I talked to my CPA, that says, I can't do this. And I'm going to tell you, do what your CPA says. Because if you get in trouble with the IRS, you need that person who's your partner. They're kind of like your money coach. So make sure that when you go ahead and you go over employee, employer, or independent contractor relationships, the terms are set out, they're crystal clear. They know what it is. If there's a withholding, you're paying the withholding. If there's not a withholding, then you don't. But make sure that you're meeting those classifications. And that's a great question, by the way. So, great question, Patty. Are all of your virtual assistants from the Philippines? Do you work with VAs from the States? So yes, our entire admin between our real estate team, our cyberbacker organization, we have another one, Team in a Box, everyone else, we hire completely out of the Philippines. And Patty, I'm going to tell you the biggest reason that we do that is because it's where we built a database for finding talent. I mean, if you were coming to me and saying right now, I want to start hiring out of India. We show you in virtual leverage how to hire out of India. It's a lot of the same processes and things like that. You absolutely can. In fact, we've worked with web developers from there before, and they've got some great people there who do great web development. But hiring is always going to start with some sort of a database. I know some people will pay money to access like Indeed's database. It's wherever you can actually build a database and you can touch it on a consistent basis. That's where you're going to do a better job of finding talent. See, if I have a database of 10 people locally, and I'm looking to hire an assistant, well, if those 10 people don't know anyone, I'm very limited and I got to get out there and be a little more friendly. So with hiring and where you choose to hire from, that's going to be where can you build a database from and where can you go out and be very influential and make a difference. So we just have had the good fortune of meeting a lot of people in the Philippines as we go. This last time we were there was a fire in, was it Tondo, Raquel?
Yes, Tondo.
Yeah, and you remember, you want to tell them what we did?
We gave out food for 300 families.
Yeah, we gave 300 families
Yeah.
food. Now, you want to tell them why?
Yeah, they lost their houses.
Yeah, there were some, unfortunately, children who were playing with
Yeah.
matches. Mom and dad went out because, believe it or not, you want to be able to feed your family. And if you don't have any money, then your job that day is to go out and find some money so you can feed your family. And that's what they did. And the kids were left unsupervised, and they not only burnt the house down, they burnt the neighborhood down. And we went over there and we did that. And the fact is, we choose to participate in things like that. We do our own Red Day over there every year. And there's, by the way, there's how many different market centers, KW Philippines? 7 in the Philippines. So it's pretty impressive, the growth. But we just happen to be able to build that database there. So I'm glad it makes sense. Let me answer your next question, Patty, which is, what's the average cost to hire a virtual assistant, and do you pay per hour or a package? It's every hiring relationship's going to be different. Okay, you might hire someone per task. I mean, if we're going to go ahead and hire someone to just build a website and that's it, I might pay them just to build that website. If I'm hiring someone who's going to go ahead and be a transaction coordinator, and I don't recommend necessarily paying per file because it's too hard to keep talent. However, you could have that arrangement. We do go through a lot of what's in virtual leverage straight out of MREA, but we don't go ahead and segment it to just one area or not. We're going to talk about the different areas and things like that in the group coaching so people understand it. What's the average to cost to hire someone? Well, if you look, and we go over this in virtual leverage, but I'm going to tell you the trick. You can look at the gross national income per capita. In fact, we've got a little bit of extra time. Guys, is it okay with everyone if I dive in and just show you a couple things from virtual leverage? Is anyone going to have heartburn over that? No? Yes, please? Okay, cool. A lot of this stuff, I know that your time's important, and I want you to get as much out of this as you absolutely can. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and cover up my screen, Raquel, and Raquel's going. He's just kind of going rogue on me. Everyone see my screen? There's a map. Yes. Okay, good. We see my screen. Thanks, Patty. I appreciate it. So real quick, if we look, this is the gross national income per capita. This is in 2017. And we're going to go over all this in virtual leverage. Uh-oh. So Prathana doesn't. Karen does. So am I saying that right? Prathana? That's a cool name. Crystal does? Okay, yes now, perfect. Okay, this is the gross national income per capita. Now, anytime you're gonna go ahead and hire and you're going globally, you've gotta have something to go off of. We're gonna share a lot of different things in virtual leverage. This is just a starting point so I can answer Patty's question. Right here, if I scroll down, you can see that you take the population divided by the final year income divided by the population to reflect the average income of someone in a country, okay? So if I take Switzerland right here at the very, very top, you take their population or their final income divided by population. That's what the average person right there, based on this equation's making. They're making 80,560. But look right here at the US, we're 58,270, okay? Now, I know some people are saying, that's way high where I live. The average person only makes like $40,000. And I know some other people, you're in California or New York, and going, I couldn't live off that. I would starve. That's like poverty. This is just the country, okay? All right. So you go ahead, and by the way, some of you, you're from Canada. We're grateful you're here today. 42,807. Now this is in US dollars, okay? So up here at the top, GNI per capita US. You go ahead and you look. I mean, this is the number you start if I wanted to hire, and we go over how to hire out of it from everywhere. I mean, if you want to hire out of Spain, that's about kind of what an average person needs to make. With more time together in virtual leverage, I go into everything a little bit deeper, but let's just go ahead. Let's say Peru right here, 59.70, Thailand, 59.60, Maldives, 95.70. Raquel, didn't you want to stay in an underwater hotel? Didn't you tell me it was like on your bucket list?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I go ahead and I scroll down here, looking at Philippines in 2017 is 3660. So that's total income divided by population. So you can kind of get an average, okay? Other than that, we believe in paying people fair. We believe in paying people what they're worth, and we go through different jobs to do that. Because if you hired an attorney, or we had for a while, we had a paralegal that worked for us in the Philippines. You're going to pay them a little bit more than you're going to pay someone who's just doing data entry that you never have a voice call with. And I pay Raquel a little bit more, and we pay a lot of our people more because we can actually have a conversation with them. So that's it. So does that answer your question, Patty? Does that help? I'll minimize the screen so everyone can go ahead, and we'll go to this next page because it's so much prettier for everyone who wants to know more. But Brian asked a great question. How skilled in SEO, Facebook, pay-per-clicks are the virtual assistants? That's a great question, Brian, and I appreciate you asking. We've found people who can completely do it both through command, because as you guys know, you can integrate Google and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all sorts of other things, and you can run ads through there. And you can do that process. If you're going to go through, let's say you're going to use blocking for an organic SEO ranking, that's your game plan. You can hire bloggers to do that. However, guys, there's a lot of virtual assistants that they've done this for other companies. You might not be the first person they've worked for building out an SEO strategy. I'll tell you in our experience, because we've got a whole social media team. We've got a gentleman from Bangladesh. His name's Shamim. Great guy, and he handles our Twitter. We've got Ashri, who, guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. She kind of helps me out on Facebook, meaning sometimes she logs in and makes sure I get through all my messages, and sometimes might even send you a smiley face back if you send me a message. So anyway, but helps out with that. And we've got Jawara, who manages our Facebook campaigns, stuff like that. I went ahead, and when I first talked to Jawara, I said, okay, here's what I want from you. I want a price. What is it going to cost me to hire you? I want a plan. I want to know what you're going to do for me. I want a proof of concept. I want to know exactly that what you're doing is going to work. And then we're going to be tracking progress. We get more into that kind of structure. But I asked Jawara, so she came to me with a plan. And I'll never forget, because Raquel and me were having this meeting with her to present her plan. You remember, Raquel?
I remember that.
And I felt like, Brian, I knew social media. Like, I'm pretty talented at this stuff. And I've spent time on Google, and I've read Gary Vaynerchuk's book, and Ben Kinney, you know, that social book he wrote forever ago. I've read this and I've studied. I'm thinking I know my stuff. She put together a 15-page PowerPoint, and on the third page, I realized I'm an idiot and I don't know any of this stuff. So she's actually more intelligent than me with it. And I just went, holy cow, like this is just amazing. And every single week we have a meeting, and she shows me percentage of growth and what we're attracting and where it's coming from. And she's making suggestions. I didn't train her. I mean, she's so good, she trained me. And when you're hiring a great virtual assistant, but I mean, by the way, when you're hiring any great assistant, talent, when they're so good, they'll train you on how to do your job better. You know, if there's one thing you take out of this today, I mean, that's who you want to hire, someone who can help you do your job at an even higher level. I mean, Raquel came in, and you look at a lot of this, we created with Cyberbacker. She created it. I mean, she came in, she took what we were doing, which in the beginning was just transcription, right, Raquel? So yeah, she came in, was doing transcription, and then said, hey, I can teach other people to do this, and I can take more tasks. And now she manages my schedule, to-do lists, emails, make sure I get everything done before I leave. I mean, it's truly incredible. Working with her has truly changed my life. So great question, Brian. I love this. Do you have VAs that are Kellerized and know the tech, or is being pre-trained? Yes. So we've got a couple different things with that. So when eEdge came out, we didn't have anyone because it was 2009 and it was cool. We went ahead and we taught all of our people how to use what was there, everything from eEdge to the eEdge market leader site to Dotloop, everything you have access to, we have that. And then moving forward with it, they've been on command, they've been using Kelly, and we've been teaching them. And we'll go through like how we did that, like our best practices for getting them up and going and Kellerized. So our Cyberbacker ones, I'll just tell you the reason we kind of Kellerized them is because we had to, because with Cyberbacker, I'll tell you that whole thing, guys, Cyberbacker, some of you guys are here saying, okay, I don't want to do everything you're talking about. I just want to hire someone to do it. That's what Cyberbacker is. Virtual leverage coaching, this is teaching you actually how to do what Cyberbacker does. Okay. So I was over at Diana's house with a bunch of coaches back in November, and they're giving me a hard time. They're like, hey, Craig, would you hire a virtual assistant to do that? And I kept saying, yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. Well, Diana kept sitting a little bit closer to me, and she says, Craig, could you actually have a virtual assistant do some of these things you're talking about? I said, I already do. And she says, so why aren't we offering something like that through MAPS? And I said, well, we train people on how to do it. And she says, well, why don't we just do it for them? And I said, well, that'd be interesting. And she says, let's start with the coaches. So we went ahead, and Raquel and me, mostly Raquel, just be honest, through December, worked to put together how to support a coach. From everything from getting them Kellerized to letting them know the terms to, I mean, everything. 4 conversations, they know 4 conversations. They know CGI, they know Kelly, they know everything, and training them for the coaches. And what happened was, is we went ahead and just provided this, which is originally just for them. A lot of the coaches have real estate businesses, or let's say they're also a team leader in some areas, and they said, I want to have my cyberbacker help me with this too, because they've been so good. It just kind of took on a mind of its own, and that's kind of what it became. Originally, though, cyberbacker, the term is because Raquel is virtual or cyber, and she's got my back, and she didn't like the name when we came up with it, but that's what it is. So anyway, so Brian, I hope that answers the question. Yes, they are Kellerized. Yes, they're coming trained. And now some of them, when we hire, I mean, we've hired people that they worked in real estate with Remax before. They did, and they didn't come pre-trained. So we teach you through the course how to go through and teach them a lot of KW. So BJ joined late. Don't worry. So was with Outdesk, is the same, or go through KW. So we're not going to teach you how to go through any other company. I mean, we're not. We teach you directly through this, so you're not going through a third-party company. We do go ahead and we have affiliates that we've had great relationships with. So, but no, in fact, a lot of our people that work with us, they did work at another company. I'm not going to say names. They just like our culture because we're very Keller Williams. So, make sense? So anyway, Kristen's asking about a coupon code. Jasmine, you know anything about a coupon code? Beck? Jasmine? I think we might have, Jasmine left me.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey.
So
Do we have a
today
coupon code?
yes,
We do.
We do. Yeah, it's going to be Web15 for 15% off, and that will also be sent to you with your recording for today's session.
So there you go, and you're getting a recording, BJ. You can go back and watch this and learn about everything that we're doing. So, okay, guys, I've got a couple more minutes of Q&A. We went ahead and budgeted plenty of time because we had 400 people sign up, and not all 400 people are asking questions, so I'm not that entertaining. So Jeff wants to know if he already signed up, if he can get the discount.
Yeah, Jeff, email us at fasttrack@kw.com.
Perfect. So BJ, we're going to show you how to hire someone and what's the rate through KW. BJ, we're going to go ahead and just tell you about cyberbacker as we go. So you'll see all this when you get the email. It'll make sense then. So as far as like what rate does a virtual assistant charge, guys, let me tell you one thing. It's always going to be based on the job. So by the way, $4,000 an hour, I will be your virtual assistant. Oh, Raquel, I'll be yours. Right? That's funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yes, so basic pay rate and everything, it's kind of like we looked at on Wikipedia here a little bit ago, Brendan. That's your average pay rate. So as you guys get the webinar, go take a look, go watch it again. You'll enjoy it. So $36.60 US dollars for the Philippines. Bangladesh, I didn't pull up while we're in front of everyone. In fact, let's go ahead and look that up. What would a social media virtual assistant get paid? We're going to go ahead and look up Bangladesh real quick. 1,470 right there for you, Brendan. So social media one, it's kind of depending on what you're actually going to have them do. Are you boosting posts? Are you including that? Are you expecting them to pay to boost your posts? So Patty, I'm going to say the best thing is to start out with the job description on what you would want. I mean, can you find someone to do your social media for as low as $2 an hour? Yes, you absolutely can. So, but you're going to get what you pay for. I mean, if you want someone that can actually build you a Facebook, and that's what, you know, do your social media means. I mean, yeah, you could probably hire a virtual assistant from India to build you something better than Facebook if you wanted. I don't know how you're going to promote it better than Facebook does, but you can. So it's kind of what that is. So great question, BJ. Can they speak good English? Raquel, can you speak good English?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. So, in fact, Raquel, just for fun with everyone, I like having fun with this group, guys. You're great today. Thank you. Raquel, in school there, what grade do they start teaching English to people when they go to school?
Um,
How old are they?
7 years
7.
old. Yeah.
How old were you when you started learning English?
Elementary, 7 years old, Craig.
7
We
years old.
have yeah, English subject
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So, your daughter's been speaking, by the way, 7 years old. Raquel's got a daughter, Jaira. She's real cute. We love Jaira. How long has she been speaking English?
Since she was 3 years old.
I'd say since she started speaking. I mean, you just listen to her, you can't even tell. If she was born here in Utah, I would believe it. I mean, she sounds that good. So the person BJ had did not do well with English. BJ, you hired the wrong person. By the way, with Virtual Leverage, we talk about you are going to go through hiring a lot of people to find one great one, or you're going to get really good at interviews and things like that. And we're going to show you how to build a funnel. So you're not going out there and just hiring the first person that shows up. I mean, it's never a good decision to hire the first person. You want to hire the best person. So we'll teach you how to do that. So, okay, guys, if there are any other questions real quick, I'll stay for another minute. We left too much Q&A time, Jasmine. I'm so sorry. So I had someone last week say, you talk too fast. So, okay, guys, get out there. Have a great day. The webinar is going to go out. Make sure you join us for Virtual Leverage, where we get into the systems. I know some of you guys are going, how do they make a phone call? Well, we do quite a bit on how they make a phone call and how to communicate with them. And we do quite a bit on just the systems and, you know, things to look at for taxes and stuff like that, and how to make sure you're not hiring the wrong person. And then, I mean, Raquel, seriously, she's so good. I've given her my credit card number and she books everything for me. I mean, if I need her to be a travel agent, she would. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for your time. And right there, you can go ahead and join us for Virtual Leverage, and have a great day. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.